Welcome to our pre-recorded Sunday service for the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Pete. This could be called Episode 3 of Season 1 in the continuing series, Have Pulpit Will Travel. My name is Paul Bernor, and I'm a member of this church and of the worship committee. It's good to connect with you, and you're welcome joining this service. Pastor Jack Donovan is off this week, so I'll be filling in. And now Susan, our Vice President, will make a few announcements and have some joys and concerns.
Good morning. Here are some announcements and a few messages that people have called in or left on the email for joys and concerns. First, Reverend Jack is trying out offering some online meditation sessions, a recorded contemplative meditation on Tuesdays, which you can see by going to YouTube and looking for UU St. Pete. Then on Thursdays, a Zoom mindfulness meditation, 20 minutes starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, followed by time for anyone who would like to check in or chat. We're trying to send out Zoom invitations for that. Starting on April 15th, we'll get back to having our Wednesday discussion groups on Zoom, finishing up the book, God is Not One. The final chapter is on atheism. If you're feeling a need to talk with Reverend Jack, he's available to meet online, over the phone, or in a safe, open area. Just contact him through the office email or phone. And a few joys and concerns. So happy to report that Mary Berglund is home from the hospital and recovering from surgery. Debbie Carter is home from rehab and getting around with a walker for now, getting a lot better. And Dolores Benjamin is doing much better and may be home from the hospital this week. If you have a joy or concern to share next week, please mail it to the office email, office@uustpete.org. Everyone should know that even with all the limitations in place, our staff is still working and the board has agreed that they will all get their regular salaries. So you please continue to support the church financially. We're close to the end of this year's pledge campaign, and here is Michael Kaloran to tell you a little bit about that.
One of my favorite jobs is being a Sunday greeter. I get to stand out in front, and as you make your way forward, I see smiles, always joyful, always happy, and we greet one another with love in our hearts, and often with hugs. And I don't know about you, but I really miss those hugs these days. Our church is where we belong. Belonging to our church is a powerful act of love. It's the spirit of our church, an expression of our yearning to be together in our beautiful sanctuary on Sunday mornings to reflect, to celebrate, to ponder, and to share our gratitude. We are learning that our belonging is so much deeper than we ever imagined. It's our interconnectedness to one another and our desire to congregate. Now we have to do it online, but love is still where we belong. As we do every year at this time, our church is conducting its annual giving campaign. No one knew that we'd be doing this in the midst of a pandemic. It's so difficult to keep track of time these days. You may not be aware of it, but this is our third and our final week of the campaign. We always intended to keep this campaign short, simple, and to the point. I do hope you've had a chance to see the gorgeous video montage that Courtney Allen put together for this purpose. It's so beautiful. We've made it easier than ever before for you to pledge online. It takes all of about 30 seconds once you've decided on the amount that you'd like to give next year. This year, Randy and I decided to increase our pledge, even though our income is dropping. This pandemic has given us pause to think about what really matters to us and to be especially grateful for the love that is nurtured by you, our church. We love where we belong. We're so grateful to those of you who have stepped up almost instantly and without hesitation to pledge your support. Many of you, those of you who can, have increased your pledges in solidarity with our members who are facing difficult financial circumstances right now. Thank you for that. That's what Unitarian Universalists do. It's the way UUs roll. We try to lift one another up in our time of greatest need, and we do so with gratitude and, as always, with love. Won't you please go online today and complete your pledge form? We really need your support in the coming year and beyond. Let's keep this momentum going as we build a brighter future together. Thank you all for your love and support. Be well, stay safe, and keep the fire of courage burning bright and out into the world. Thank you.
As in normal church services, Susan will now light the chalice as I say the words of our covenant. Since you already have them memorized, please say them along with me. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And now Susan will tell the children's story.
Hi, I'm Susan, and this is Charlie, and we're going to tell you about how even when things are really bad, if you look hard enough, you can probably find something good. Something really bad happened to Charlie and to me and Paul a few months ago when our dog Chipper, who was Charlie's best friend, got very sick and died. And we were so sad for a long time. Charlie was even really sad, we could tell. Then a good friend called us and said that he knew about a dog that needed a new home. And so we got to meet that dog. Charlie's going to go play with him right now. We got to meet that dog and just fell in love with him. And because we had a little extra space in our dog community, we were able to take him and make him part of our family. And this is him, Teddy. And Teddy is just a great dog, and we're so happy that we have him. So that's an example of how, even when things are tough, if you look hard and you wait and you're patient, then maybe something good will happen too. And I hope that that's what's going to happen with all this time that we can't go to school and we can't go to work, that there are other things that are good about it. And if we think about it, we'll think of some of those. Thanks a lot.
Susan, Charlie, and Teddy for that wonderful children's story. Here's a reading next, and the lines are from Krista Tippett and fit our times very well. She says, "Listen for wisdom and beauty, and for voices not shouting to be heard. Treat the margins as seriously as the noisy center, for change has always happened in the margins, across human history, and is happening now. Seismic shifts in common life, as in geophysical reality, begin in spaces and cracks." Let's take a few seconds to meditate on those words. Please get comfortable, take a deep breath, and close your eyes. Thank you. The reflection today is entitled Silver Linings and Simplicity, both of which I think are very much in play today. Sunday is Palm Sunday, but we'll have to observe it from home this time, as we are all more or less confined to our homes during this shocking pandemic. The old phrase, "not enough quality time," is being replaced by maybe too much quantity of time together. The seriousness of the pandemic is profound and will change established ways of life on this planet and the planet itself. The supply chain, the food chain, the services chain, all will be affected. I've heard the existential phrase, Darwinian reset. No one knows what will happen. We are truly all in this together. And I believe we'll all come through this together. The covenant we spoke could never be more important. In times of catastrophe, there's often a wave of positive outcomes as well, like sacrificing something to help others, like sometimes being sequestered in your homes and having the time and opportunity to re-examine your values and what's really important. Maybe we can start spreading an epidemic of hope and love, even by way of electronic communication. Silver linings are good things that have come unexpectedly out of bad things. On a macro level, what silver linings could there be? Maybe a move to universal health care and workers' rights, which our political system has not been able to deliver at all. The ill-preparedness of our hospitals and public health systems have taken center stage because our political system wasn't interested before. I think they will be now. This will change for the better. I think there's even a possibility of a sober and responsible husbanding of our Mother Earth back to health. Already, carbon emissions have dropped significantly because of far less traveling by car and airplane. Already, the healthier, simpler alternatives of bicycles and walking is beginning to emerge. We can do our exploring just by staying home. T.S. Eliot says this very well in his poem, Four Quartets. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. After decades of our own life's explorations, after driving and flying all over the planet, this unexpected virus seems to be a forced opportunity to explore our own backyards. Being restricted to staying inside isn't new to me. As a boy, I had asthma and pneumonia, causing 2 tracheotomies in my first 2 years, and confinement to my bedroom in the 10 years after that whenever a spell of asthma appeared. I remember watching the other kids play outside. I read a lot and built model airplanes the color of silver lining my bookcase. When I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Songkhla, Thailand, I sometimes felt isolated in my little house, up on 10-foot stilts in a rice paddy, even without screens for mosquitoes. There was no TV, no air conditioning, no movie theaters, not even other Americans. But there was a tiny library on the new university campus where I taught. In those 2 years, I had the time to read through the 3 shelves of literature and poetry in English that were there. What discoveries I made, what friends would shape my life to come. Silver linings are more than a consolation prize. They can be simple changes that would not occur normally, but make a profound difference. Like family members I haven't spoken to for years, and now we connect with each other. Like making eye contact with strangers and asking, "How are things?" as a simple but real question, and getting an answer. Like going through old photos, making a new family album. Simple. It's like a forced vacation from our hectic, materialistic world without the normal distractions. When I think of wise sayings, I think of simple words. And since I never met my grandparents, being adopted at birth along with my twin sister, I'd choose Benjamin Franklin as my surrogate, wise grandparent. His Farmer's Almanac contained many of these kinds of simple words. Here's some examples. Well done is better than well said. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Fish and visitors stink after 3 days. I'm sure you have recognized some of those. One of my silver linings now is spending more time in gardens and with words. Not crosswords, which Susan loves, but poetry. Sometimes it seems that poetry is a marriage of the simple with the profound, bound by words. Here's an example of how simple words can be very profound. It's a poem from Mary Oliver. She says, "To live in this world, you must be able to do 3 things. To love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends upon it, and when the time comes to let it go, to let it go." There are only 45 words in this poem, and 40 of them are words of only 1 syllable. The other 5 words have 2 syllables. Simple. And yet the marriage of these simple words say a lot. We gather those tightly wound coils of words and wisdom with the hope that there are answers we can find to help, and that they will be there for us when we need them, and will propel us in the right direction. What makes a few simple words most important? The human voice. using words invented by humans. Add to that eye contact, as clear as the sunrise, and as honest as the phases of the moon. It's the human face speaking the truth that anchors us to the ground. It can change whoever listens. Words that come out of silver linings can expose the illusions we live with, like electronic money, the need for convenience, that we are the center of the universe. Krista Tippett, again, says, the core of life is about losses and deaths, both subtle and catastrophic, over and over again, and also about loving and rising again. Let's end with a poem specifically about the pandemic, written by one of my favorite poets, Ted Kooser, who's a former United States Poet Laureate. He wrote this within the last couple weeks, and it has still not been published. My friend Dennis Calandra, a member of our congregation, sent it to me. Dennis is a longtime friend of Ted Kooser's. Here's the poem. It's called Full Moon, March 2020. The full moon was in self-isolation too, and wearing a white mask as it passed us in an aisle of the night, keeping a distance, not acknowledging us. It was pushing a cart heaped with stars, far more stars than any moon could ever need. The cart sparkling, a few little stars falling out, left behind as the moon rolled past on its way toward eternity's checkout. So, some of this talk today has been rather solemn, and it should be, but let's not forget humor during these times as well. I'd tell you a coronavirus joke right now, but I'd have to wait 2 weeks to see if you got it. Here's another one. There are so many coronavirus jokes out there, it's a pandemic. So that's probably enough humor for now. I'm imagining smiles, a few laughs, and some groans. They all count for good. Let's live our covenant and take care of one another. Stay well. Thank you for joining. Now here's our parting covenant. Please say these final words with me as Susan extinguishes the flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, the courage, the fire of courage. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. See, I even forgot a word there. For our final words, we'll also hear a poem by Ted Kooser. Since we're all washing our hands a lot these days, these exactly fit our time. They're also about mindfulness and simplicity while washing your hands, just by exploring the margins and the voices not shouting to be heard. The poem is entitled A Washing of Hands. She turned on the tap, and a silver braid unraveled over her fingers. She cupped them, weighing that tassel, first in one hand and then in the other, then pinched through the threads, as if searching for something, perhaps an entangled cocklebur of water or the seed of a lake. A time or two, she took the tassel in both hands, squeezed it into a knot, wrung out the cold and light, and then, at the end, pulled down hard on it twice, as if the water were a rope, and she was ringing a bell to call me. 2 bright rings, though I was there. Thank you for tuning in today, and thank you for being in our community. We remain in covenant. Stay well. Bye-bye.
Hello, everybody. John and James here again.
Down in Gulfport, Florida, here's a wonderful song by a great songwriter named Laura Love.
It's been a mean, cruel season. It's been crazy, crazy hard.
And for no good reason, my universe has come apart.
I've been so uneasy, and I'm trying not to burn, 'cause I know that it's kindness that we're all here to learn. and I still believe in kindness, and I still believe in love. I know the power of a gentle touch when the going gets rough. I will not be bitter,
I will not be small.
'cause if I choose to harden my heart, I'm nothing at all. Some days I don't get up, go out of my room.
I'm so broken-hearted, I don't even know how to
Put my clothes together, to put one shoe on, to lace up those strings and open the door and carry on. But I still believe in kindness, and I still believe in love. I know the power of a gentle touch when the going gets rough. I will not be bitter,
I will not be small.
'cause if I choose to harden my heart, I'm nothing at all. I still believe in kindness, and I still believe in love. 'Cause if I choose to harden my heart, I'm nothing at all. Nothing at all.
We hope that brings you some comfort during these trying days.
Yes, we love you all. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.